about Tony. For more than 20 years, Tony was a leader and coach for companies from 80 employees up to corporations with 100,000 employees. In that time, he learned from many leaders, mentors, and coaches. He helped people create successful careers, businesses, and lives through his time as a leader. Isn't that wonderful? And 3 years ago, he decided to go on his own to help people overcome their fears, limiting beliefs, self-doubts, to find their positive belief system and vision in order to create miraculous results in their lives and business. That means you, right? He has been lovingly dubbed by his colleagues as the world's best belief coach, as he succeeds in helping people believe in their passions, businesses, and lives to find the success and happiness they desire. Would you make Tony Schmaltz welcome?
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, everybody. Glad to be here. So, if I start sweating, it's because I naturally run a little warm. I'm actually not nervous. I like talking in front of people. You know, everyone should have warned me that Florida was hot when I decided to move here to Washington State. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to talk about the top 5 daily activities to maximize success. Now, whether you agree they're the top 5 or not, they're a great time. They're a great 5. So we're going to get started. Have y'all heard this phrase before? Consistency is key. How many people have heard that phrase? How many people believe in that phrase? What if I told you you were misinformed? A lot of looks out there. Consistency is not key. Consistent action is key. You can be consistently lazy and not get anything done. You can consistently do the same wrong action or wrong task and not get anything done. So consistent action is really the key to success. So I'll spare you this slide because I already had a wonderful introduction by Gary over there. So what is the first thing you do in the morning? Other than the bathroom, of course, people, come on. So what is the first thing all of you do in the morning? Just throw something out there. Something shouts out. Coffee? Pray? Nice. Walk your dog.
YouTube.
YouTube? Did you say YouTube?
I'm an honest man.
So, the reason I ask is because to really, the first action that we're going to talk about is to start your day positive. Because really, the way you start your day is the way your day is going to progress. And if you start out like, for example, turning on the news, which I don't care who you watch, it's nothing but negative. You turn that on, you're going to start your day off on a bad note. You know, you've ever heard that phrase, woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Well, guess what? Even if you do wake up on the wrong side of the bed, these are the kind of things you start your day with to correct that real quick, fast, and in a hurry. Affirmations. How many people do affirmations?
My love language.
So for those that do affirmations, it is super important to do that within the first 15 minutes of waking up. That's when your mind is still in sleep mode and it's still more vulnerable. Your subconscious mind starts sucking that stuff in. So the longer you go throughout your day, the harder it is to really implant that in your brain. So even before you do your morning activities in the bathroom, it's best to do those affirmations first. Prayer/meditation. So depending on your belief system, some go with prayer, some go with meditation, some go with both. I actually do both myself. But again, same thing. Start your day off with these positive activities. Affirmations, first thing after you get up, before you start your day. Shortly thereafter, after you do your bathroom activities and get ready. Shortly thereafter, get into your meditation, get into your prayer. Start getting that mind molded for a positive day. Every day is a great day, if you allow it to be so. And then inspirational reading or videos or audio. So hey, if you're watching YouTube, by the way, it's not a bad thing as long as you're watching something positive and inspirational. So inspirational reading, video, audio. Sometimes some people like to watch YouTube, some people read a book, some people just listen to, whether it's hypnosis. I've seen some people listen to positive hypnosis, some sort of inspirational reading or video or audio. So this is how we're going to start. Action number 1, the first key is to start your day positive. Because that's what's going to carry out throughout your day. If you start off on a bad note, guess what? You're going to carry that throughout your day.
Curveball, you're reading
What do you mean?
Don't read
You
it.
said don't look at the news, but we're reading it, so.
Don't. Don't. There's nothing positive, very little positive in the news, and your odds of finding it are slim. All right, what is one of the most valuable activities you can do in business? And depending on your business, this is a pretty common one for anyone that has anything to do with sales or getting clients or customers. Anyone, shout something out. Over deliver. I like it. What else?
Making a list.
Make a list. Okay.
Organization, communication.
Organization, communication.
Bring donuts to the meeting.
Excuse me, I'll bring her to the next. Follow up is good. Follow up is good. So all of these are great answers. All of them make a big difference. And this may not be the top one, but this is a good one. So the value-added activities we're talking about, the first one is speaking to your leads or customers. One way or another, whether it's follow-up, whether it's first contact, whatever it is, you are not going to get a sale unless you're communicating with your lead or customer. And this can be internal. If you work in a big corporation, your internal customers are the same thing. Speak to your leads and customers. That's where you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck. If you go on and just start scrolling social media or checking emails that you really don't need, guess what? That's not adding any value to your day, or very little. Employee or teammate growth. So regardless whether it's an employee or a coworker, teammate, help them grow. Help them learn what you know. If they don't know what you know, help them grow, or they can maybe help you grow. But doing that, helping them get better, they're going to help you the same way. Now, if you just say, well, I don't want that person to surpass me, and you go off the other way, guess what? They're going to have that same kind of attitude towards you. You get what you give. If you give that kind of attitude, like, I don't want to help this person because I don't want to get better than me, that's what they're going to give in return. Because you never know what they know that you don't know. And you don't know what you know that they don't know. So always share information. Talk with your teammates, your employees, help them grow together. That's really adding value to both of you, which is adding value to your organization. I know people don't like this one. Outsource tasks if possible. Administrative tasks. When I talk about value-added activities being speaking to customers, doing the sales, and getting the closes, those are the ones that are putting dollars in your bottom line. When you're sitting here filling out spreadsheets or doing some of these little administrative tasks, those really aren't adding any dollars to your bank account or to your company bank account. There are lots and lots and lots of services that are very inexpensive for some of that stuff, whether it's accounting, administrative, social media marketing, et cetera, et cetera. Some of these things that we can spend hours and hours and hours on, but when we add up that time and we put a value to our time, we're flushing dollars down the drain. We could pay this person $100 a month instead of spending $500 a month on ourselves. So take a look at some of those small tasks that you're doing day in and day out, and you might be able to find somebody that can do that for you. And it's probably already training on how to do it. What is one of the best ways of getting some thinking time? Shower's up there. Shower's up there, by the way. It's not the answer I'm looking for, but it is up there.
Take a drive.
Drive's a good one. Anyone else?
Walking.
What was it?
Take walking.
Yes. Who said that? Yes. That's not everyone's cup of tea, but yes, exercise in general. Now, I'm not saying go out and get nuts, go get a gym membership or anything. I'm saying keep it simple. I'm not telling you to go get a gym membership, go hire a personal trainer. No, that's not what I meant. Because pumping weights is not the same thing. You're not really thinking as well as you could. But maybe something like take a walk, jog, walk the dogs. You know, something where you're just out and about and your mind gets to think. And you're thinking. And you're usually, when you're exercising, you're building up, those endorphins are going, getting some energy going, the blood's flowing. And so usually the thoughts that are going through your head are positive, not negative. There's exceptions, of course. Usually when you get that blood flowing, it really leads to positive activity, positive brain activity. So get that blood flowing. And that's obviously the last one there. So just, the main thing is getting the blood flowing. Walk, I mean, for people who have a community pool or a pool in the backyard, get in there, swim some laps, do something. Just get that blood flowing. And guess what? All of these 3 first actions we're talking about, preferably before you actually start your day. These are all things to get you off. Now granted, we'll get into some of this later because a lot of people are like, Tony, I don't have that kind of time. I don't know what you're talking about. How am I going to do that? We'll talk about that later. I know I got you guys ready to go now. All right, what is one of the best ways to get better at your craft?
Do it over and over.
Who was that? What was that last one? The first one?
Do it over and over.
Good. Good. Anyone else?
Watch YouTube videos about other people doing your craft. It's how I learned.
I think we know your story, Jason. Anybody else? Learning from what? That's good one. I like that one.
Getting a mentor to help you that has experience.
I like that answer. Anybody else? Okay. So, action number 4, learn. And we're going to talk about different ways. There's all kinds of different ways. We've talked about several of them just now. Everyone brought it up. But the idea is to learn, and should say learn and practice. But the main thing is to learn. When you stop learning, you stop growing. You know, how many people are familiar with the former motivational speaker Jim Rohn? Anybody? Jim Rohn, he'd like to say, you know, you got to get better at your craft. Whether it's learning from a mentor, taking a class, practice, you got to get better at your craft. You know, he'd like to say things like, you know, I heard Tony talk 10 years ago. Man, what happened? No, I heard Tony talk 10 years ago. You should hear him today. You know, you want to hear somebody say that 10 years down the road. No, this guy's 10 years better. He's not the same or worse. That's what we talk about when it comes to learning. Read a book about your craft. I know, some of our businesses, that's not exciting. But it is helpful. And it will help you grow. It will help you learn, help you get better. Especially if you take what you've read and you implement it into your business or into your daily life. Take an online or in-person course. Guess what? I hope you guys are learning something today. You can count that as your learn for the day. And as was pointed out, get yourself a coach or a mentor. And this could be within your organization. It could be a hired source. It doesn't matter. There's always somebody out there that can help you along the way. And whether it's getting better at your craft, getting better at your personal growth, there's always somebody out there that can help you get better. Yes, lots of us are good at doing that on our own. There's nothing like having somebody there to help coach you, help you grow, help mentor you, help point you in the right direction. Hey, you know what? I'm stuck. Can you give me a hand? You know, there's always people like that. Some of these I found in a hurry. What is a good way to improve your current processes or systems?
Talk with your organized friends.
I've been meaning to follow up with you on that conversation.
After you finish the process, you hot wash it to find any efficiencies.
Cool. I think I know where you're going with that. Anybody else?
Click all the buttons.
Click all the buttons.
And farm out the best people in your industry.
I like that too. Sometimes that's a bad thing. I like that red button. Usually it's not. Anybody else?
Ask the user what they think, you know, what their trouble points are,
Mhm.
where they think they can improve, what their ideas are to make it better.
I like that one. That's not on here, but I like that one. Do you ever find that people are resistant to give you their honest answer?
Ever that? But there are those who are like, I hate this, I hate that, I hate this, how can we do this faster?
Yes. When you get the honest ones, it's helpful. Most people are just like, oh no, you're doing a great job. No, it's fine. No, yeah, it's fine. Everything's good. Even though then they turn around and go, gosh, it's fine. Document it. Everything you do, document it. I don't care if you take your phone out and do a voice recording. Document everything that you do. You know, some of you guys see this flyer that this event that we got going on. This is the first time I'm running an event. Guess what I'm doing? Documenting every part of the process, because the next time will be a hell of a lot faster and easier. But when when you document everything, even as little as taking notes, in fact, that's before I started getting into that. So actually just take notes. It doesn't matter, like I see many of you guys taking notes. The important thing about taking notes though, is not just to take the notes, is to actually go back and review them. How many people in their businesses have notepads and notebooks that they've written lots of notes in and never actually went back and looked at? Anybody? Yeah. I've got like, how many do I have? Maybe like a whole row on my bookshelf. It was one of my coaches that said, hey, when was the last time you looked at those? I'm like, set some time aside to review. Now do that every once in a while. I'm not saying take notes and review them the next day, but when you finish a notepad, set some time aside to go back and look at the notes. You're going to catch something. Oh, I forgot about that. That's right. I'm supposed to put that into action. So take notes and actually review them later. Journal. How many people journal? Yeah, there's. So it doesn't have to be complicated. People think the journal is like a diary. It can be or it can't be. Journaling can be where you capture stuff that's on your mind. It's a brain dump. It can literally be a brain dump for everything that you've got on your mind for the day, for what you need to do, what you've done, and then again, you can review it later. I'm going to show you a little template that I like to give to clients, and I like to show people for an evening time journaling. It's called the four square journal. And you can do this on a piece of paper. This is actually supposed to be a full-size sheet, but I couldn't fit it on the slide. But you can take your own journal and just mark it into 4 squares. But do this at the end of the day as you're getting ready to wind down for the evening. Mark it out 4 squares. First square, write down all the things you accomplished today. Now, people in general, guess what? We're human. Welcome to planet Earth. People in general like to forget about the normal stuff that we do. We go, God, I had 5 things on my checklist today. I only got 2 done. Well, yeah, you went to the grocery store. You picked the kids up from school. You cooked dinner. You did laundry. You mowed the lawn. Those are all things you got done. And just because you didn't get the 5 things on your checklist from the morning done, doesn't mean you didn't get a lot accomplished. And so when you go back and go, wow, yeah, shoot, I got like 15 things done today. I didn't even think about that. And that we take for granted the things that we do day in and day out. When we start recognizing those, we get more motivated. We're like, yeah, I'm going to go out and kick some butt tomorrow. Number 2, gratitude. Now, it can be the same thing or it can be different. But write down everything you're grateful for that day. Again, we're not talking about all of these 4 squares should take you 5 to 10 minutes maximum. Write down everything you're grateful for. Because now that you've written down everything you accomplished and you're already fired up, now you're going to be even more grateful for all these other things in your life. And you'll be like, now you're even more boosted. You're like, oh, yeah, I'm pumped now. Look at this. 3, lessons you learned today. Remember we talked earlier about action number 3 being learn. You're going to learn something. And even if you didn't go take a class or you didn't have a coaching session or you didn't learn from a mentor, you learned something. Whether you read a book, read it in the paper, although I don't recommend that. There's always ways for us to learn. So again, you may have learned 10 things, you may have learned 1 thing. But make sure you write down what you learned for the day. Because now you take your boxes 1, 2, and 3, and you're really fired up. You're like, man, I got these 15 things done. I'm grateful for these 18 things. I learned these 6 things. Whew, yeah. All right. And then number 4, your number 1 priority for the next day. Now, for a lot of us, we have projects that are going to take multi-days or multi-hours. So if your number 1 priority is to work on that project, write down 1 hour on project XYZ. Don't say project XYZ because you're going to come in and go, holy crap, that project's going to take me a week. You're just going to get stressed out and overwhelmed. But if you make your number 1 priority to spend 1 or 2 hours on project 1, 2, 3, XYZ, and you get that done, then guess what? That night you get to go back to accomplishments and go, whew, I got my priority done. I got my priority done. Boom, motivation builds again, and again, and again. How many people do something positive in the morning and evening? So think about the morning. We talked about the morning, starting out the day on a positive note, so you can carry the positivity throughout the day. Now you close with something positive, something that's giving you motivation, excitement, and then you're able to sleep and dream well because you've ended your day positive. So now, you end your day positive, which means you wake up not on the wrong side of the bed, but on the right side of the bed, and then you build on that positivity, and your days go great. So I like to share with people that every day is a great day. And a lot of people look back at me and go, full of crap, Tony. There's lots of times I have bad days. What are you talking about? No, every day is a great day. But we have a moment or two in our days that we tend to carry with us the rest of the day. And when we start to recognize that our days are just that 1 or 2 moments that are not so nice, and we can recognize that and pull out some of these positive things to counter it, the day goes back to being a great day. Oh yeah, objections. Here we are. Everyone's looking at me like, forget you, Tony. I don't have time to read all this stuff. You just gave me a whole load of stuff, and I got a full plate already. What are you thinking? So, what do you think is one of the biggest objections? I just gave it to you. I'm sorry, my slides are ahead of me here. It's time. It's time. Everybody, that's the first objection. I don't have time for that stuff. How can you think I have time for that stuff? So, but let's take a look at that. How much time do you spend watching TV, Netflix, on social media? You know, sort of scrolls a lot, fingers of fury, you know how it goes. Good. Lots of people. I bet you actually took the time to document how much time you spend on social media or how many times you watch Netflix or TV. Probably got a little extra time there. Maybe. Just checking. Non-productive meetings. For anybody who has worked in the corporate world or any kind of business, you know that one of the biggest wastes of time, and I've been through lots of time management courses, are meetings. Meetings. Now, we all have them. We all need to have them. However, they are the biggest time waster. Now, a properly ran meeting where somebody comes in with an agenda of 3 items and you go bing, bang, boom, cool. Get on out the door. How often does that actually happen? Anybody? I didn't think so. Most of the time, meetings that should last 15 minutes last an hour, and you've lost 45 minutes out of your day. So non-productive meetings are usually where, if you're the one running the meeting, the reason I have this up here, if it's your meeting, make sure you send out agenda ahead of time. Stick to those agenda items as best as you can and get everybody out the door so you can get back to the value-added activities. Lunch with friends and colleagues. I got lunch with Gary tomorrow, so I know what it's like. we all do it. We all have lunches, and I love them just like anything else. But if you have this big project on your plate, and you're like, God, I don't have time to finish this project. Oh, but I got time to go out to lunch, Joe. It's about evaluating priorities. If you have a deadline, you have projects to finish, maybe that lunch you wait till next week. Maybe. And what time do you wake up and go to bed? Lots of people like to sleep in on the weekends. How's that working out for you? So wake up at the same time, go to bed at the same time every day. Now, if you feel like you've done all the rest of the stuff and eliminated all the rest, and you still don't have enough time, guess what? You can probably wake up a half an hour earlier or stay up a half an hour later just to get the rest of that done. At least until you get into the habit or you eliminate something else that will give you that extra time. Most people say, oh, I wake up and I get ready for work and I leave. Well, what if you woke up an hour earlier and took care of some of this positive stuff in the morning so that your day is that much better throughout the day? So when you're looking at ways to improve time or find the time, sometimes waking up a little earlier or going to bed a little later. Add that extra time that you need. Another quote from Jim Rohn I was talking about earlier. If you really want to do something, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. That's what I got, folks. Thank you very much for listening to me today.
Any questions? You got any questions?
I got a question.
Yeah.
So every morning and every night, we need to have a grateful heart and do something positive. And then if we have a bad moment, how do we get over that to just say, okay, it's good again?
That's a whole other conversation. But what I like to it depends on you. Honestly, it does. It depends on you. So
We'll have it back.
but typically, I like to lead people to a breathing exercise or some sort of meditation. I find even if you have to go hide in the bathroom for 5 minutes and do some deep breathing or some meditation, it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes. But if you really do it right and you focus, you'll come back out and go, come on, here we go. We'll talk about happy places the next time. Yes, it's a line from the movie, but it actually is real. Anybody else?
Tell us about your future project in September.
Oh, well, again, everyone's got flyers in. We have a big event coming in September. We're having it at the Edgewater, and it's going to be fun. We've got some big names coming, some big keynote speakers, myself and a few others, and we got 2 full days of learning. You guys can learn from about leadership, management styles, sales techniques, general motivation, positive aspects, mindset techniques. Yeah, we're going to run you through the whole gamut so that at the end of these 2 days, you're going to come out a changed person. I've never seen somebody come out of these and not just explode for the next 3 to 6 months right thereafter. So, big stuff. And if you notice on the flyer, there's a specific link for chamber members only. So there is a discount. Chamber members actually get $200 off of the regular price. So you go to that link there. That one will give you the chamber price, not the standard price. And if anybody has organizations that want to send groups, we do work with group discounts as well. So. Anybody else?
I do have a quick question. Yes, ma'am. When you say that go to bed and get up at the same time, for someone like myself, sometimes it's 16, 18 hours. And some weeks, it's 20 hours of sleep when it's a busy week. I mean, for example, I got a call last night and I said, hey, you can look at this house. And I go to look at the house. And then sometimes it's 2 o'clock in the morning call. So when you say get enough sleep and enough rest, how does that work for?
He's talking about everybody but you.
Good answer.
I'm a special type of person.
So in reality, I mean, you really got to try to work this into when you have a normal day. I know if it's like every day and you're just going like nuts, you got to kind of work it in when you can. Sounds like one of the exceptions. But when you have like a normal, I assume you have a normal shift, it just always goes over in or out, or kind of? You don't have a designated hours that you should meet, no?
Oh, no, he works all the time.
He's
He's a
exception
small
to the
business
rule.
You really are.
He's a small business owner is what he is.
Yeah.
So that's what he's got, that's, I mean, that's what he's.
You may be the exception, honestly, because that's a tough call. Right? Because rest is super important. You need to have your rest. You need to have your sleep. Otherwise, the rest of that doesn't mean anything. Because you're just going to drive yourself nuts. Yeah.
My suggestion would be to try to outsource everything you can. There's things you can't outsource, but there's probably things you can. You know, I mean, if you're a small business owner, we're small business owners. There's usually things that you can hire out. You know, get somebody else to take it off your plate because you got to take care of yourself.
He does make a good point. We talked about outsourcing earlier.
I think you need to guard sometimes to make sure that you stay healthy. You know, you want to take every job you can. You want to be right there on the spot when somebody has an emergency, but at some point you have to be able to take care of yourself.
You do make a good point. That's something I hadn't talked about yet, and it's not in the slides, but one thing that many of us have a habit of doing, especially a couple people in the back, is with their phones in their hand and, you know, looking at everything that's going on and not paying attention. So many of us, that's the last thing we do, like the first thing we do in the morning. You know, you set your phone next to your bed, you wake up in the morning, you're like, oh, who did I miss a call from? Who did I get the text from? Who's emailing me? Blah, 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 blah. Same thing last thing before you go to bed, you're like, oh, I gotta check all my messages, make sure. So back to what you're suggesting, turn your phone off. Hey, I'm going to sleep at 10 p.m. and I'm gonna get up at 6 a.m. Phone's gonna be off. I can check your messages in the morning. Because guess what? Even though you're a small business owner trying to grow your business, there are very few things that are that emergent where you have to respond right away. You can respond in the morning and still get those customers, still get those clients, still get those business, still get that business. But if you're running yourself so ragged you can't even talk to these folks because you're so tired, that doesn't do anybody any good. So one thing I suggest with a lot of people, and I'm good and bad about this, I have my on and off months, but I'll take and plug my phone out into the other room. So it's not even in the room. That way when you're getting up to use the bathroom or you get up in the morning, you're doing these positive tasks we talk about. You're not first thing grabbing your phone. And at the end of the night, a lot of people don't know this, but studies have been shown that if you're looking at electronics the last thing before you go to bed, You're gonna have a hard time falling asleep, and you're gonna have worse sleep than you would if you spent the last hour without electronics. Something to think about. Does that help? Anybody else?
Is electronics including TV, not just your phone?
So I'll give you another one. So, this is a guy that I've gone through one of his courses, Craig Valentine, and he talks about morning routines being your biggest impact in the morning. And he has this 10-3-2-1-0 program. 10 hours before your plan to go to bed, stop drinking coffee, caffeinated, energy drinks, anything that's meant to give you energy. At least 10 hours before you're ready to go to bed. At least 3 hours before you're ready to go to bed, shut off from work. I know it's not easy for everyone. But at least 3 hours before you're ready to go to bed, shut off from work. 2 hours before you're ready to go to bed, shut off all electronics, including TV, phone, etc. And the last hour, I'm trying to remember the last hour. No, I'm sorry, last hour was electronics. It was the three was stop working, 2 was turn off anything related to work, like emails through your electronics, but you can still keep the electronics on. Last hour was no TV, no phone, nothing. So hour before you go to bed, turn off all electronics. And then the 0 is don't hit snooze. 0 times hitting snooze in the morning. So set your alarm, get up right at that time. So 10, stop drinking caffeinated beverages or energy drinks. 3, stop working. 2, stop any other connections to work. And then 1, stop any electronics before you go to bed, hour before you go to bed. And then 0, no time hitting the snooze button. You'll sleep way better, by the way. Anybody else?
What about accountability in all of this?
So accountability, it is always great to have an accountability partner. It's if you're living with somebody, it's always good to have them on your side and hopefully joining in with that kind of structure that you've got going on. Otherwise, coaches are always great to have around, and I know with my personal coach, I can literally text or call him at any time, and anyone can do that with me, any of my clients. And I've been at the moments where we started something like this, back to your point, and I've had my coach texting me every morning going, hey, you up? Did you do your affirmations? Did you do this? And just to get it fired up, just to where you're in the habit of doing it. And it's funny, so Tom Ziegler, who's actually going to be speaking at our event, one of his famous phrases is, the secret to success is changing one bad habit into one good habit. When we start with one and create that good habit, then you add another one and you can work your way into creating those good habits out of the bad habits. Does that help? Anybody else?
Do you have any specific affirmations that you think is applicable to everybody?
So, I'll tell you what, you guys all have my cards. Anybody who wants that, I have lists of them. So I don't use them anymore because I've all developed my own customized, but I do have lists of common affirmations that people can use that, yes, would be applicable to anybody. It has to do with positive attitude, finance, mindset, spirituality. There's a whole slew of them, and if you guys want them, I will be happy to send them to you. So send me an email or a text message. That is my cell phone number, and I will be more than happy to send you guys those. Anybody else?
How do you journal when you're physically doing 200 to 300 actual tasks in a day? Do you take the time to journal all of that?
You talking about as far as accomplishments? Like as far as the 4-star journal and the accomplishments?
Yeah.
So I typically start with the big hitters. I mean, let's say you're filming something, but it took you 20 different tasks to get that film done. I would write down the larger task of, got this photo shoot done, or got this commercial recorded, or something along those lines. Does that help? No? Okay, so here's another suggestion then. Because you blocked out these 4 squares, write as many as you can, fit in the box. And once you hit the end, stop. That means you've done a lot.
I'm going to outsource somebody to follow me around.
Right?
You're gonna hire a journalist, right? Yeah.